My father looked me dead in the eye and told me, "You should focus on finding a husband." That was his response when I asked if I could work at the family firm. At first, I thought he was joking. My whole life, I had worked hard in school, studied business, and dreamed of one day contributing to what he built. But in that moment, the man who raised me, the man who was supposed to believe in me, dismissed me as if my only value was who I married. And then, to twist the knife deeper, he announced that everything, the business, the responsibilities, the future, was going to my younger brother. I felt my stomach sink. My chest tightened. My brother, who spent more time partying than working, was suddenly deemed more capable, more worthy, simply because he was a man. I asked why, and my father smirked, telling me I'd never be as good as him anyway. His words burned into me like fire. Every syllable carried not just rejection, but mockery. It was the kind of moment that changes you forever, when you realize you've been underestimated to the point of being invisible. For days, I replayed that conversation. I lay awake at night, heart racing, fists clenched under the covers. Every memory of helping in the office as a teenager, every late-night study session, every sacrifice I had made, it all seemed meaningless to him. And worse, my brother started parroting his words, treating me like an afterthought. At family dinners, he'd brag about his future empire, while I sat silent, choking on the rage building inside me. I wasn't just angry. I felt powerless, humiliated, and trapped in a role I never asked for. But anger can be fuel. It can either burn you down or light a fire so bright that it changes everything. One night, staring at the ceiling, I decided I wouldn't beg them for a seat at the table anymore. I'd build my own. I started with nothing but my degree, a laptop, and a burning need to prove them wrong. I poured every ounce of energy into creating something of my own. Long nights, endless research, countless rejections, none of it mattered, because every insult my father threw at me replayed in my mind like a battle cry. While my brother slept in, I was sending emails. While he flaunted his inheritance, I was building connections, brick by brick. The first months were brutal. There were moments I questioned myself, moments I wanted to give up. But then I'd hear my father's voice in my head, dripping with scorn, telling me I'd never be as good. That voice pushed me harder. Slowly, things started to shift. A small contract turned into a bigger one. A single client recommended me to 5 more. My tiny startup began to take shape, and with each small victory, my confidence grew. 6 months later, I stood on a stage at a business conference, accepting an award for innovation. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted questions, and I smiled, not just because I had made it, but because I knew who was sitting in the audience. My father and my brother had come, invited by mutual connections who thought they'd be proud of me. When I locked eyes with them from the stage, I saw it, the shock, the disbelief, the regret. My father's jaw clenched, my brother shifted uncomfortably, and for the first time, they had no words. After the ceremony, he tried to speak to me, his tone softer than I had ever heard. He muttered something about being proud, about how he underestimated me. But I didn't need his approval anymore. The power had shifted. The man who once dismissed me as worthless now stood in the shadow of my success. My brother, who inherited a firm handed to him on a silver platter, was losing clients because people preferred working with me. The sweetest part of revenge isn't always shouting, or gloating, or rubbing it in. Sometimes, it's standing tall. Letting your success speak louder than their insults ever did. It's the moment when those who mocked you are forced to watch you shine, powerless to stop it. Looking back, I realize my father gave me a gift without knowing it. His rejection lit the fire that drove me harder than comfort ever could. If he had welcomed me into the firm, I might have settled, stayed small, or let my brother overshadow me. Instead, I carved my own path, stronger and brighter than anything they expected. If you've ever been underestimated, if someone has ever told you that you'll never be enough, remember this: sometimes the best revenge is letting your success become their silence. So if this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that prove karma always finds a way.